The Day Enemies Became Brothers, the untold story of the Christmas Truce, 1914. December 24th, 1914. The world was at war. Europe had become a graveyard. Young men, many barely out of high school, were dying in the mud-filled trenches of World War I. On one side, British soldiers. On the other, German troops. Between them, a frozen field called No Man's Land, littered with bodies. The orders were simple: shoot to kill, no mercy, no hesitation. But on that cold Christmas Eve, something happened that no general could have planned, something no one could explain. As night fell, British Private Alfred Anderson sat shivering in his trench. His boots were soaked, his hands were numb, and all he could think about was home. His mother's cooking, his younger sister opening presents, the warm fire he might never see again. Then, from the darkness across enemy lines, he heard singing. At first, he thought he was imagining it, but then it became clearer. Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. The German soldiers were singing Silent Night, a Christmas carol, in the middle of a battlefield. The British troops froze. No one fired. Then, one British soldier began to sing back, Silent Night, Holy Night. Soon, dozens joined in, English voices, German voices, two enemy armies, one song. For a brief moment, the war disappeared. Then something even stranger happened. A German voice shouted in broken English, Tomorrow, you no shoot, we no shoot. The British laughed. It had to be a trick, right? Morning came, December 25th. The sun rose over the trenches, and slowly, a German soldier climbed out. No weapon, hands raised. Then another, and another. The British soldiers aimed their rifles, waiting for the order to fire, but no one fired. Finally, a British soldier stepped forward, then another. Within minutes, men who had tried to kill each other just hours before were shaking hands in the middle of no man's land. Some exchanged cigarettes, others traded chocolate, buttons, photographs of wives and children. One soldier showed a picture of his newborn daughter. The enemy smiled, then cried, because he too had a daughter at home. And then, someone pulled out a soccer ball. No one knows who started it, but suddenly British and German soldiers were playing football together, laughing, slipping in the mud, cheering each other on. Imagine that. Yesterday they were enemies. Today they were teammates. For a few precious hours, they remembered they were human, not monsters, not targets, fathers, brothers, sons, friends. But peace never lasts long in war. The generals were furious. When word reached headquarters, orders came down immediately. Resume fighting. No exceptions, no more truces, no more humanity. As the soldiers returned to their trenches, many were in tears. One British soldier reportedly said, I never felt more ashamed to fire my rifle. Hours later, the guns began again. The same men who had shared Christmas greetings were forced to shoot at one another. Some would not survive the week. Years later, survivors still spoke about that day, not as a military event, but as proof that even in humanity's darkest moments, light can still break through, that hatred can pause, that compassion can survive, and that sometimes the bravest act in war is refusing to see your enemy as less than human. Today, over a century later, the story of the Christmas Truce still reminds us. Wars are started by leaders, but peace is often created by ordinary people. And for one miraculous Christmas in 1914, the world remembered what peace looked like, even if only for one day.